ado, I am excited to introduce you to our next run of Super Mario Galaxy 2 Any Percent with NolifeVV. No Life, you are clear for takeoff.
All right. So, welcome everybody. My name is NolifeVV, but you can call me No Life for short. And today I'll be playing Super Mario Galaxy 2. And I'll just start the run because it's very long, so I'll do some more explanations later. But the run will start in 3, 2, 1, go. So, yeah, this is Super Mario Galaxy 2. This is probably my favorite game of all time. I've been playing this for basically all my life. And I've been speedrunning this for about 2.5 years at this point. It's pretty widely considered to be one of the, weaker speed games because, basically all you do is long jumping from an outsider's perspective, at least. But, today I'm going to show you that it's not all about long jumping, and we do have a lot of very cool and interesting techniques, and I'm very happy to be showing them off today. So now we're in the prologue of the game, which is basically a story textbook, which is very cool. It's basically a 2D side-scroller, where you just make your way through it by long jumping. So we're off to a great start when it comes to movement, but trust me, it'll get a lot more interesting. So there we picked up a little Luma, and that is a very special Luma because it allows Mario to do the spin move, which is arguably the most important move in the entire game. Because the spin move allows Mario to, spin enemies, damage them, and also gain extra height, which we'll definitely be needing for pretty much everything in this entire game. And here we get some backstory. Basically, Bowser kidnapped Peach again, and then he moves away, never to be seen again. Pretty basic Mario storytelling. But yeah. Now we're talking to the Lumas, and we can head over to the very first star. One thing that I will note is I'm playing in Chinese today, because Chinese text is really fast. I think it saves around, I want to say like 1:20 over just normal English text, which is quite a lot at this level. Like a very high level of play. Yeah, we're entering Sky Station 1, probably the most infamous level, because it's a very difficult first level. Most runs will just die in this level because it's so punishing. There are like a bunch of different cycles you have to take into account, and it's very easy to die in this level. So I'm gonna lock in here for a second. Make sure I don't do anything stupid. And there was our first trick of the run. By doing a backflip off that Luma, we can actually skip entering the launch star, which saves around 1 second, and it's a little scary because if you fail it, you lose like 30 seconds. But it's pretty fast and it's pretty cool. So I like going for it and marathon runs, like showing off the really hard strats. And then here we're entering our very first boss fight of the run, Pee-wee Piranha. Considered by many to be the easiest boss fight, but it can be pretty difficult at times. So normally you have to hit him 3 times to break his eggshell, but we're speedrunners, we can just do a ground pound and it's instantly broken. But sometimes you can break his shell and he'll like run away, and it's a whole mess. It can be a very tedious boss fight at times, so I'm glad it went well this time. And that's the first star. Also, regarding starbits, I will be shooting out basically all of the starbits in this entire run, because after every level, you get text boxes with, you know, showing you how many starbits or coins you got, and that takes up quite a lot of time, so we try to avoid all of them that we can, basically. And you might be wondering, like, because there are hungry Lumas later on in the game, which require you to have a certain amount of starbits to unlock. But we've got that covered because we have Bank Toad. So before we do any run, we fill up a Bank Toad to around 4,800 starbits. And then we collect those later on so we can open all of the hungry Lumas without actually having to grind for starbits. And you might think that's cheating, but it just makes the run so much more enjoyable since you don't have to, you know, farm for starbits. That's a big thing that people often complain about in the first game, so I'm glad they fixed that for Galaxy 2. And we've now unlocked Starship Mario. I would translate what Lubba's saying, but I honestly have no idea. It's been way too long since I've played this game in English.
So he makes some horrendous joke about it being a spaceship, more like a face ship, because it's shaped like Mario's head. It's probably better to not even be able to read it, because it saves the cringe.
And there's Bushnan, my commentator.
Hello.
And Bush had to join in a little late today because he had to go eat. But he's here now. We're all good. Alright, and here is the second star, Yoshi Star 1, where we'll be seeing Yoshi for the first time. And if you've never seen a speedrun of this game before, you might be a little surprised with what will happen after we get Yoshi. So I'm not gonna spoil it yet, but just be prepared. Alright, there's a pretty difficult trick coming up, so I will be quiet for a second so I can focus. Nice! Alright. What you just saw was called Yoshi Fluttering, which basically allows Yoshi to fly as high as you want. It's very useful to cross, you know, large gaps, and it's pretty overpowered.
Yeah, usually in this game, after you finish a flutter, Yoshi has a cooldown where you can't flutter again, but by tapping Z briefly, you can just delete that cooldown and then start another flutter. And so you can just do that infinitely and just gain infinite height. And if you can get some sort of horizontal speed, you can just gain more and more of that as well.
Yeah, it's very broken technique. It might take some time to learn at first, like anything does, because the timing is pretty specific. But once you get it down, it's really not that bad. It's a very
And there's only really about 2 different ways you can actually use it, because all of them kind of use it in the same way.
Yeah, you either go sideways or you go upwards. You know, if every single level had a Yoshi, this game would look a lot different. You know, thankfully, it's only limited to a certain number of stages, so we get to see a lot more variation. Once again, a Yoshi level, so you know, we're about to see a pretty big skip again. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to grab Lakitu's spiny shells and open a bunch of glass domes to traverse the level. but you know, we've got Yoshi, so we don't need to do any of that. We can just skip straight to the final boss, saving like 40 seconds or something. It's pretty big skip. It's one of the bigger skips in the game.
Bigger skips, and also if you're comfortable with Yoshi fluttering, it's actually surprisingly easy. Because it's not too complex of an angle, unlike quite a few of them.
Yeah, some angles are pretty specific. But this one is not that bad. What I did there was I shot the boss with the star bit to cancel his animation earlier. So he shoots out his spinies earlier, which saves like around a second. The timing's kind of tight, but it's pretty cool. There we go, Yoshi Star 2. Really cool level in my opinion, even though you skip all of it. Because the boss fight has a lot of like really tiny optimizations, a lot of cool strats. Here Lola talks about the 2P Luma, which if you didn't know, a lot of players in this game like to use 2 Wii remotes to speed up the gameplay, because adding a second Wii remote allows people to use the 2P Luma, and the 2P Luma can basically just pick up any coin, it can stun any enemy, which, you know, over the course of an entire 3-hour run saves quite a bit of time. But I prefer playing 1P because my hands aren't big enough to hold 2 controllers, unfortunately.
Yeah, obviously the original, you know, gameplay mechanic was designed for, you know, two players to use, but we are speedrunners, so we don't have friends. So we just kind of, you know, just skip that part and just hold both Wii remotes in the same hand.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous having to hold, you know, 2 entire Wii remotes in your hand for sometimes up to 9 hours, because the longest category in this game is 9 hours long. I'm really not sure how a lot of people do that. So I feel like, you know, especially for me, it would give me a lot of hand pain, but a lot of people don't seem to have that issue. And then he would do a pretty precise triple jump to skip having to drill back up. If I skip over some of the like minor optimizations, I'm sorry, but yeah, sometimes I forget that things I'm doing are actually skips. Because it's so second nature.
After NolifeVV landed on that planet with the spin drill, you'll notice they actually clipped into the wall, and you can just do that by just making sure Mario is like angled correctly, and then just after you start like falling from your jump, you just spin and it will just clip you into the wall, and you don't have to like go all the way down and then back up again.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's also really not that hard. You just hold up on the stick and then you just clip through the wall. Saves a couple of seconds. There's a lot of like janky physics like that in this game. Then to explain this boss fight, basically we want to run underneath this guy's feet. So he hits us, and then that will cancel out his jumping around animation, which saves a couple of seconds. But it's completely RNG, so you just have to pray, and I didn't get lucky that time, so unfortunate, but it is what it is. on to Right Side Down. Probably one of my favorite levels in the game. It's basically just a 2D side-scroller, like in the prologue section, but it has a lot of really cool platforming sections.
Yeah, the whole level is based on hitting levers to reverse the gravity, but a lot of those levers are kind of out of the way, and so we can just, like, go past them. So
Yeah, we
it's
basically...
some rather difficult platforming, but when you get it all right, it looks really satisfying.
We basically skip the entire mechanic the level is built around. It's very, very cool. Yeah, as you can see, we don't need that level at all. We can just jump over it. Don't need it. And here's another really cool trick. Instead of, you know, waiting for the platforms and hitting the lever, you can jump on this Goomba and fail the trick, but no. Normally you can bounce off that Goomba and skip this entire section, but I mistimed my jump.
Yeah, one thing that's very relevant in this game is that you gain a backwards momentum a lot quicker than you do forwards. So by doing a backflip and then bouncing off of that Goomba, you can get the Goomba that was floating. You can get a lot of backwards momentum and just clear the gap entirely without ever having to land on those platforms that are moving up and down.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Trying to remember if we use backwards momentum anywhere else in the run. I know we do for Yoshi a couple times. And this last section we just skip the walls entirely, but I'm pretty sure that's intended, because there are 1-ups sprinkle around all over the place up there. And here we'll be seeing our very first secret star, which basically every single galaxy has a secret star, or well, almost every single galaxy, where you have to, you know, find the star either through like a secret pipe or a hungry Luma that you have to feed that'll turn into a separate planet in that galaxy. And this one is pretty infamous. It's one of the Gizmos, and he's gonna ask us to clear a bunch of boxes. I know a lot of people struggle with that one in their casual playthroughs, but
yeah. So Nintendo really took the rather infamous garbage mini games from the first game, and we're like, you know what? Let's bring them back. But except this time, instead of blowing up garbage with bombs, you're setting boxes on fire for some reason.
yeah, luckily it isn't nearly as bad as the first game, because the first game, if you miss a single bomb, it's pretty much over. But here, if you know how to position yourself correctly, you can make pretty quick work of these. They're really not as bad as the first game. It's just a lot more lenient, a lot better in my opinion. And really fun if you get good at it.
Yeah.
Very
Another
rewarding.
thing also a micro time save is it's really strange. For some reason, pressing Z just cancels any animation. Like usually you can only shoot a certain number of fireballs at a time, but if you just like press Z, it again just cancels that, so you can shoot a fireball whenever you want. And it's not used in this run, but there's another galaxy which I know for a fact that a lot of people struggle with. The boss in Slipsand Galaxy, there's the boss with Squizzard, which is where you shoot fireballs into his mouth. And I know I've myself struggled a lot in my casual playthrough, but as soon as I found out about this trick, you can just like keep shaking and pressing Z as fast as you can, and you just shoot so many fireballs that you're just invulnerable, basically.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Unfortunately, though, that level is a bit too long for any percent, so it's not in the route. But instead of that, you get to see this level. And this level is really fun, because you can just skip the entire thing. By using 2 clouds, you can just hop your way over and skip yourself to the final area. And this saves like a ridiculous amount of time. Like I think it's like over 40 seconds as well, like in Yoshi's Story 2.
Yeah, there's also a lot of very strange movement with the cloud you'll have noticed. For example, that right there was a cloud boost long jump. So when the cloud is spawning, you'll see it expand outwards, and you can use the momentum of it doing that, combined with the long jump, to just get a ton of momentum.
Yeah, that is probably some of the hardest tech in this game, the Cloud Flower. Because the cloud boosts and cloud side flips, which I was also doing, have very specific timing. Pretty sure cloud side flips have like only a 2-frame window or something. They're very, very precise, so they can be pretty random at times. But they're really, really cool if you get them all. It's definitely like a more advanced technique.
Yeah, I thought I'd let you explain that because I don't do them.
Yeah. I still kind of don't understand how they work fully, because like nobody does. It's just muscle memory at this point. Like there are a lot of spots in the run where, you know, a lot of people, even top runners, would skip out on certain movement just to avoid having to do cloud side flips, because they can be so inconsistent. And, you know, speaking of them, we're going to be doing a lot of them in this star as well. Which, this is the secret star for Fluffy Bluff, where we need 100 coins to feed the Hungry Luma. And luckily there's a pipe here, so you can just collect most of the coins in this pipe. You do have to make sure not to miss any, because if you miss any, then you have to reset the level.
Yeah, there's 64 in that room, including the pillar of 4 in the middle, and then if you go up to this cloud next to the Hungry Luma, there's a coin which spawns another 40, so you can actually skip the pillar of 4.
Yeah, which is very convenient.
Very nice of Nintendo.
Now we have exactly 100 coins, which means that we won't be getting a text box after this run, or level, not run. This is some of the coolest cloud side flip movement in the game, so I'm gonna lock in for this here. Nice, that was perfect.
Nice.
Even got the frame perfect camera cancel, which we haven't explained yet. So basically, whenever you land out of a launch star, Mario gets like a stun animation upon landing, which if you press D-pad up followed by D-pad down, you can actually cancel that animation. And in certain, out of certain launch stars, these camera cancels are frame perfect for whatever reason. So yeah, you have to just kind of pray that you get it, because there's not really a good visual cue for a lot of these.
Yeah, quite a few of them are also on par with frame perfect jumps, which is, you can use them in placement of a camera cancel, but like I said, it's frame perfect, far less consistent. And so when you enter a galaxy, you get a massive stun when you first land. And thank you, Nolife, for demonstrating. You can actually get an FPJ if you hit jump on the correct frame to just skip that stun entirely. That's very nice timing, thank you.
Yeah. In this level, getting a frame perfect jump is pretty useful, because you can make a faster thwomp cycle, which saves about 4 seconds. In most cases, you just save 1 second by getting one because you can have faster movement. But since a lot of the levels in this game are cycle-based, there are a couple which save a little more than 1 second. I think there's one in Green Stars that saves 8 seconds if you get the frame perfect jump, which is pretty ridiculous.
I do think actually that was the case, but I believe Gamma actually found a way to still make the fastest cycle without an FPJ. I'm not sure if he's tested it fully, but
I'd imagine it's pretty tight. Alright, here's Gobblegut, and this is a pretty difficult boss fight, but luckily we have strats. So you don't even have to wait for him to go down, you can just hit all of these bubbles in the air.
I'm
pretty sure in
bellyache bulges.
In the combat you get like 2 whole minutes to beat him, but you beat him in like 2 seconds on the timer. It's something crazy like that. And that's World 1.
The first of 6 worlds that we'll visit in this run. There is a secret 7th world which you can unlock after finishing the game in any percent, beating Bowser, but we won't be going there. Which is a shame really, because it's my favourite world.
You think I could chime in with some good news between worlds?
Oh, yeah, sure, go ahead.
I'm very happy to say that we have gotten a couple donations already during this run. It Must Be Bunnies has donated $25. Thank you so much. And we also have $10 from Zabatsu, who says, "What'd that dog do?" And Zabatsu, that is a great question. Quet, as a service dog, is going to be trained to fulfill all the specific needs of a specific disabled partner. That can be so many different things, like detecting allergens in food or performing deep pressure therapy during panic attacks. So all of your donations are going towards training Quet to help someone in every way they need to be helped. So thank you so much for those donations.
Yeah, that's great. It's always good to see.
We love dogs.
Absolutely.
Alright, and this is our first level of World 2. Puzzle Plank. Probably one of the harder levels, because this level has, I believe, 3 frame perfect inputs and a really inconsistent trick at the end of the level, which relies on your frame rate, which you can't really control. So, yeah, it's pretty difficult to be consistent at this level, but fortunately, none of that saves a lot of time. It's only a couple seconds each run. Really not that big of a deal. For the level itself, though, we just make quick work of it. There are all these saws that are cutting up the planets, but they're no big deal.
So a couple of them do have some incredibly punishing hitboxes where you can just miss them entirely and it'll just decide that you've hit it, but as long as you know which ones those are, you can just take enough precautions and you'll be fine.
Alright, good final planet. I unfortunately didn't get the frame rate dependent trick there. If you get the trick, you can skip doing a ground pound because it'll do 2 ground pound inputs when you actually did a single one.
Yeah, the gravity field on that planet is very strange. You'll notice that the backflip just took us across the entire planet because we just kept switching between which gravity we were in. And I believe the double hit is actually based on that, although feel free to correct me.
It's that plus like a frame rate thing. It's really weird. There's a lot of weird jank in this game. Because like, you might look at some tasks of this game and be like, you know, there's no reason this shouldn't be able to be done by a human. And you know, I'd agree in most cases, but then you try it yourself and it's like, huh. You know, this actually seems impossible. How did they do this? And it's mostly just because of like the weird galaxy jank that is pretty much impossible to be recreated by humans at most times. Like there's a thing called zip jumping, which if you hold Z and tap C, I think, the C button, during a certain frame window, you can get what's called a zip jump.
Slope specifically.
Yeah, off a slope specifically. And it'll like zip you across the stage, which saves like a ton of time in the task. And you try it yourself and it's like, you know, this doesn't work. I think in the run,
There's only been like 2 zip jumps that have actually been recreated by humans, and none of them have been done in a run.
yeah, it's like ridiculously precise. Oh, I didn't mean to dismount there. Here's the first Yoshi upgrade, I'm pretty sure. The Dash Pepper, which allows Yoshi to run really, really quickly. And we'll be using this Dash Pepper to do a trick that's coming up here. It's called Jada Flutter, because it was discovered by a runner called Jada, where you maintain your momentum from the Dash Pepper and the ground that's falling below you to skip all the way over here without losing any momentum.
Yeah, it saves around 3 seconds over the normal flutter, I believe.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's not that much. And then we can dismount off Yoshi to jump straight into the star. Because the Dash Pepper, you know, it maintains your speed when dismounting. Alright, and now it's time for the Hungry Luma. But first, I gotta get my Starbits from our good old friend Bank Toad. You know, thanks to Bank Toad, we don't have to sit around and farm Starbits all day. Which is very nice.
So now we get this hungry Luma to come to our ship. He's going to complain that he's hungry because, you know, he wants 700 Starbits to, you know, to build a new galaxy. A bit greedy, really, but you know what? The other ones ask for more, so we'll take what we can get.
Honey Bloom is another 2D level, just like right side down. And he'll be introduced to the bee mushroom, which is, you know, a fan favorite where Mario turns into a bee. I don't think we'll be really using its powers all that much besides the flying, because its main use is flying, but usually people think of the honeycombs when they think of the bee mushroom and how you can climb those, but unfortunately we don't have any in the any percent run.
In fact, you probably won't be seeing much bee at all in this level, because this level actually has multiple instances of us just avoiding it because it has a very low top speed. So where we can, we just want to kind of avoid using it.
Yeah, like there, you can just skip it entirely by doing pretty precise jumps off the clouds in the flower.
I think it's a 4 or 5 frame window to jump off of a
It's
cloud
something
in
like
Mario.
that, yeah. You kind of just want to press the button before you land, and usually you'll get it. Here we're gonna use this guy to damage ourselves to get rid of the bee mushroom, so we can traverse this with normal Mario, which is a lot faster than using bee mushroom Mario.
You'll notice Nolife's also stunning the enemies with Starbits, and that's so that we can just like slide off of them, because Otherwise, obviously, they hit us. We don't really want
Yeah, that's not
to be
ideal,
dying.
usually. And this ending section is just a very simple B movement. It's very simple, but it's really fun. We stun this guy again. And there we go, that was Honey Bloom. That wasn't that bad. That was pretty good.
That was a pretty solid Honey Bloom.
That's one of the levels that can go really, really wrong really quickly if you make like a small error. But thankfully that didn't happen. And then now it's time for the secret star, which is, I think, it's the shortest star in the entirety of any percent. Or even like
must be,
120
yeah.
stars. It's a really, really short star.
Yeah, so we can just wall jump off these walls, I suppose. Just go right on up to the star.
Also, avoiding the coins there, it's pretty precise. Glad I hit it though. Always want to be avoiding coins when you can.
Because unlike star bits, coins, once you have them, you can't get rid of them.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate. It'll very often be the case where you'll get like a perfect segment, and then you'll have one coin that loses a second at the end, and it's like, oh, that sucks. Makes optimizing some of us pretty difficult in this game. Right, Cosmic Cove 1. So in Cosmic Cove 1, we'll actually be getting the Hungry Luma for the secret, even though we're doing the secret star way later than Cosmic Cove 1. And it's mainly because we have to get the Comet Medal in Cosmic Cove 1, and the Hungry Luma is more ideal to get with the Comet Medal.
Yeah, a lot of the fastest coins to get are quite close to the Comet Medal, so it's worth it to just like get the coins while you're getting the Comet Medal.
Yeah. $15, and luckily there are exactly 15 in our path. Which is really nice. Thank you, Nintendo. Now, the fun thing about Hungry Lumas in this game is once you activate them, they'll stay activated even when exiting a level and re-entering it. So you can just leave this Hungry Luma here and then come back later. You might think, you know, why don't you enter it right now and then do Cosmic Cove 1 later? That's because the launch star has a slight delay before you can enter it when activating it. So it's actually faster to just do Cosmic Cove 1 first and then come back later for secret. Despite opening it in one. Now you might be wondering, you know, why aren't we doing Cosmic Cove Secret yet? And it's because routing in this game gets really, really complicated. So we'll be doing Boulder Bowl next. And it's because the routing is mostly based on comet cycles or not really cycles, but like comet spawns. And those are all based on the amount of comet medals you have. So by doing Boulder Bowl 1 first, before Secret, we get an extra comet medal, which will in turn save time with like a comet medal, or a comet spawn overlap or something later on. It's all very complicated.
Yeah, nothing really directly influences everything else. It all just kind of like a bunch of things come together to help for time save when it comes to that sort of thing.
Yeah. If you were to do like all the levels in order, you probably wouldn't lose that much time. Probably only like maybe 20 seconds at most. It's all like really small things that add up. And then here we skip the entire second planet.
Which is good,
and get hit by a
because
boulder.
it's one of the slowest planets, like, that we skip. And
Yeah, you have to,
that's because
like,
we... Sorry, you go.
Yeah, you have to defeat like a bunch of enemies with the rock mushroom, and it's really, really tedious. So it's nice that we can just skip straight over to the final planet. Well, the second to last planet. You can actually skip straight to this planet, but it's slower. Because there's like a big death plane you have to avoid. And here we're going to be doing fast hits, which are notoriously inconsistent.
I basically just want to run away from this guy, make sure that he doesn't do his attack where he dashes at us, and then we can just loop around and hit him when he's not looking.
Yeah, it's very, very tedious. If you're good at geometry, then you can figure it out. It's not that bad. But if it goes wrong, it's pretty difficult to back up. Because he'll like enter his rolling state, and then he'll roll at you, and then you have to roll away. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, so now this is what we call a melted up warp. And you'll see that Lubba tried to take us down into the engine to talk about our new power-up that we just found, you know, the rock mushroom. But because we got this with a certain number of stars, the male toad then wanted to tell us that he'd given us something. And so, because that happens later, we just get warped back up to the top. So we don't have to climb all the way through Starship Mario again.
Yeah, it's more like routing stuff. Like really tiny routing optimizations that only save like a couple seconds at a time. Sometimes even frames. But it, of course it adds up over 3 hours. And this star is also pretty funny because what we're supposed to do here is we're supposed to chase a bunny around while skating on ice. And then he'll give us the star once we catch him. But we've actually got a trick to do that way faster. Which I'll be showcasing here. By shooting starbits at him, you can actually stun him, and then he can't run away, and you get him instantly. Which saves quite a bit of time.
Normally
You just want to make sure you actually hit the
switch. Yeah, you'd have to go over to that blue switch. You have to turn everything to ice, and then you chase him down. But instead, we can just say, "Hey, we've just hit you. Where are you gonna run?" And he just runs that way for whatever reason. Which
He runs
immediately
towards us.
is right into us.
Here's our final level of World 2 called Lava Lair. It's a very, very difficult level. And I'll be taking it safe for the marathon case sake, I mean. Because there's a trick at the end of the level that, when failed, loses quite a bit of time. So, don't wanna make this run any longer than it should be. There's a lot of damage boosting through the lava, a lot of cycle manips with the womps there. Because we haven't really talked about this yet, but anything that's not on camera will stop existing basically. So by putting anything off camera, you can manip it. Because everything is on like
Basically,
a
just
set
make
cycle.
it. Yeah, you just make it stay where it is until you bring it back on screen.
Focus here. Alright. That's part one. And there we go. So that's called statue jumps there, which you normally do at 3 health, but as you can imagine, if you fail at 3 health, you die and you lose like 30 seconds because you get sent all the way back to the start of the level. Because in this run, we don't grab any checkpoints because it's slow and loses time. Unlike in the first game where there were no checkpoints and your checkpoints would like automatically get updated. It's unfortunately not a thing in this game, which makes runs a lot more interesting, because you could be 2 hours into a run, die a single time, and lose like an entire minute. And there it goes. Which happens quite frequently.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few ways of doing those statue jumps. The more beginner-friendly version is you do the 2 lava boosts, and then after you bounce on the statue, instead of like staying on the same statue and then long jumping, you can actually just keep going forward and lava boost again to the next statue. And instead of doing the bounce, Mario thinks, oh, I've already done my bounce, so you just immediately have control and you can just start long jumping from the second statue. But that one does require the life upstream no matter what, because you take 3 damage instead of 2.
Hey, we're just fighting Bowser. There's not much to talk about here. There will be in the second and third one. The first one is pretty simple. You just want to manip him to punch like right to the side of these meteors and then hit them into him. You don't want to hit a shell. If you hit a shell, then the meteor will bounce off and you're gonna be losing like 30 seconds.
And that's lava that done.
So far, so good.
I think the second longest level in the run?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think the final level was the longest one still. And this is the second longest one.
Would now be a good time for me to check in with our lovely viewers at home?
Really go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just wanted to holler out that we are about $160 away from that Sonic Riders Future Blaze and Vector bonus race incentive. And as a reminder, we do need to hit that incentive by the end of this run. And I know we've got like a nice cozy couple hours to go, but that time is going to be gone before you know it. And if you're curious what that $163 is going to go to, that can cover almost 3 months worth of Quet's food. And if you've ever lived with a puppy, raised a puppy, you know that keeping them fed is extremely important. And if that sounds like a lot of money, that's totally fine, because even if you just donate $8, that'll cover a bag of training treats. And Ket's gonna need a lot of those, especially because training a service dog can take up to 2 years. So if you've got a couple extra bucks in your pocket, you can make a really big difference. So be sure to hit that exclamation point donate in the chat, and let's get that Sonic Riders incentive.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So now we're heading into Cloudy Court, which again has the Cloud Flower, so there's going to be some rather insane movement.
Yeah. This is probably one of the hardest, if not the hardest, Cloud Flower level, because it has a total of 7 Cloud Side Flips, which is pretty ridiculous considering that most levels with like 2 of them are already considered to be really hard. So I'm gonna have to really focus for this one. Alright. Yeah, if you're fast enough, you can skip that entire ending 2D section, or the ending cycle, but it's pretty tight. Also coming up is Freezy Flake, which is another very notorious level for having one of the most difficult tricks in the entire game. But it's gonna be the second star.
And that doesn't mean the first star is easy by any means.
Yeah, no, first star is pretty bad. Because it's also cycle based, believe it or not, and it has a lot of jank to it.
Yeah, because we want to keep the same Fire Flower all the way through the slide, and then hit the block to uncover the Comet Medal, and it's pretty tight to do that.
Yeah, basically any mistake preceding that makes you miss the cycle, which means at least a 15 to 30 second time loss. Oh, you got it there, so we're all good.
Yeah. You can actually, funnily enough, clip into the slide if you'll notice No Life long jumped from a very specific point. Didn't quite get it because they were too far forward, but if you long jump into a specific part of that wall, you can just clip in without having to land on the platform whatsoever.
Also, this ending section, if you keep the Fire Flower from the previous section, you can just skip straight to the end. Very useful.
Very useful, very quick. Levels about a minute long.
And this is the infamous level, probably the biggest run killer, to be honest, because it has a trick called Sorbetti Skip, which is where you skip from the very first planet to the last planet.
Yeah.
To defeat the boss called Sorbetti.
It was a trick originally theorized by Tass, which is you can do infinitely many rock jumps, which is where when you're in the rock form, you can actually, if you register a shake input and an A input at the same time, you can actually just keep jumping infinitely. And obviously, you know, one of those is a digital input, the other's an analog, so it's pretty hard to get them on the same frame. But with a setup found by Value, you can actually do it rather easily.
Alright, nice.
With a lot of practice, admittedly, but you need about 7 to 10 in a row, which sounds daunting, but with enough practice, it's doable.
Yeah, it's around 7 frame perfect inputs, but with the setup, it becomes pretty doable. It doesn't feel frame perfect. Though it can sometimes be a bit janky because different controllers and different batteries, they like weigh different amounts. So you'll have to like switch up your technique to activate the motion controls and stuff. It can be a very janky strat to learn and relearn sometimes, especially when switching controllers.
Yeah, the setup relies on pressing A with the right amount of force so that you actually like bump the Wii Remote. And obviously, depending on the weight of the Wii Remote, I own 2 Wii Remotes. I've done it with one, and it's completely different to doing it with the other. And and I bought them together. It really can just differ that easily.
Yeah, we've had 2 top runners, Dupsy and Goya. Both of them ended up quitting because of this trick, because they just couldn't get it consistently. Which is pretty unfortunate, but it is what it is. That's how speedruns go. A really annoying trick gets found, and then people just, they're good. Also, there's a fast cycle you can make on this planet here, but I think I missed it because I got hit. The way it works is you double tap left on the controller, like left camera input, to, you know, put the cycle off screen, and then once you get over here, you can make a faster cycle.
There's this red platform. If you do the camera manipulation and then don't get hit by the peepers, then it'll just barely be at the end of its cycle when you get there, and so you can make a cycle earlier.
Yeah, basically. Right, and once again we have Yoshi here. So you know what that means. It's time to skip everything again.
And right into the star.
Yeah, it was pretty good. That can be a pretty annoying flutter. Because, believe it or not, but you can actually not go backwards with Yoshi after a certain point. It will just, like, completely refuse to let you go backwards. So if you're too far forwards, you cannot flutter into the star. And you have to dismount or grab the little flower that's right next to it.
Yeah, if you go past without grabbing the star, you can just grab the flower and it'll just throw you into it. But there was other flutters where if you run out of time, for example, the first one that we did, Yoshi Star 1, we get very close to that limit before you lose all of your speed and you can't go backwards anymore. That's what makes it so difficult.
And here we'll be doing some more rock jumps. See if I get this. Alright, nice. And it's just to skip the launch star. Only saves a couple seconds, but it's worth it. And then we're gonna do the chimp minigame, which is basically just an auto-scroller, as long as you don't die.
Yeah, so the chimp wants you to score 500 points, which, if you can remember what the patterns are each time, then you can just already be heading to the next bubble before it even spawns, so you can easily score way above that.
Yeah, sometimes it's kind of hard though, because the pattern is based on Mario's facing angle. So you can't just remember, you know, the pattern
Yeah. For example,
How do
the
I-
first one will always be in the middle. The second one will always be in a corner, depending on
Yeah.
where Mario is facing. It won't always be in the same corner.
Pattern is the same every time, it's just in different places. Yeah, 500 was no problem. I think at most you can get like 900-ish. And I think with 2 Wii remotes you can get like over 1,000. Like this mini game is no problem. You just don't get hit too many times.
And generally, if you get hit, just wait. Don't bother trying to save the last few gummits, because you'll just end up, they'll disappear, and then you'll run into another spiny gummit. Just take a minute, work out where the next one is, and then just get ready to go again.
Yeah, it's easy to panic and then it's all over. Alright, and now instead of finishing World 3, we're actually going to be doing a pretty big backtrack to do a bunch of comets. Because to unlock Fish and Fleet, you need a certain amount of stars collected. And it's a lot faster to go back and collect the comet stars than do a bunch of, new planets with full-on normal stars. Because the normal stars are pretty long in this game, and the comets are usually only a couple seconds.
Yeah, for example, Sky Station 1, the level itself is about 2 minutes. The comet is like 40 seconds.
Something like that, yeah. It's really fast. Same for this, like Cloudy Court was over a minute long, and then Comet is only 50 seconds.
And that's without any of the fancy movement. This is just with long
Yeah.
jumps and the right wall jumps.
If this had a Cloud Flower, you could probably skip straight to the end, but it doesn't, unfortunately.
And this level is actually rather relevant because until you complete this level, any other comets where the main gimmick is cosmic clones won't spawn. And one of those is Puzzle Plan Comet, the one that we just saw spawn. And that's also relevant because until you do that one, none of the other purple coin comets can spawn. So you want to try and route in Cloudy Court Comet as early as possible so that you can have the most choice of what levels you do.
Yeah, remember when I said that routing is complicated? That's why. These two are the biggest problems.
Which is rather funny because they're both arguably two of the easiest comets.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're also like really short. Nice, that was really clean. That one's a lot harder than it looks. To like perfectly grab every single one of them. Normally if you miss a single coin you lose like 2-3 seconds because the cosmic clones are in the way and you have to like dodge them. So like a massive pain, but I backed it up pretty well there. Big thing with this game that the other games don't have is that getting back to full speed after losing all your speed takes a very long time. So usually, like, whenever you mess up movement, have to do like an extra spin or you bonk or whatever, you will lose like 2 seconds or more just to get back to full speed. It's really, really annoying. And it's like a big reason why people do not like Galaxy speedruns. And this level is basically just RNG. We pray that we get good crap RNG and try to kill them as fast as possible.
Because, well, where the crabs spawn is predetermined. Which way they move each time they decide to move is not.
Yeah, so they can be very spread out, and it can be pretty bad. Like, this is
not great RNG.
Yeah, it can be pretty common to lose like 20 seconds to just RNG here.
Yeah, you just want them to be as clumped up as possible.
And these blue crabs, they love avoiding you. They'll like always dodge out of the way right as you're about to take them out. I believe this is our last comment before going back to World 3. This is a fun one because we get to do a really cool strat with Yoshi. And it's not fluttering.
But it is with the dash pepper.
Yeah, we're gonna be using the dash pepper to get a really high jump off a wall and skip straight to the star.
Yeah, and it's actually very, very easy to do. It's literally just you walk off an edge, wait for Yoshi to rotate onto the other side of the wall, and then just jump, and you'll just zoom upwards.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous how easy it is. But it's also easy to miss time. So you do gotta lock in a bit to make sure you don't mess it up. Oh, you'll also see me do like a bunch of random hops with Yoshi, which those can save up to 1 frame randomly every time you do them. So I don't know if I'm saving time or not, but I might be. I just don't know it.
Yes, this time, because we don't need to go to the right to get the comet medal, we can just take the launch star, go over to this side, and then just whee all the way up to the star.
A lot of cool tech you can do with Yoshi. Like Yoshi is a very underrated part of the speedrun. And then Tall Trunk. This is a fun one because at the beginning of the level, you're supposed to grab Yoshi and fly all the way to the top of the tree. But by doing some pretty difficult platforming, you can just climb up with Mario, completely skipping Yoshi in the first planet.
Yeah, because the blimp fruit is kind of like the bee of Yoshi. It's helpful, but it's also kind of slow, because it takes a while to actually go anywhere.
Nice. We will be using Yoshi in this 2D section though. Thankfully. And thereby bonking off the wall, we could do a backwards flutter, which gave us a ton of speed to collect the comet medal. Same with this one. And then here you might be wondering why I don't just do a long jump. It's because this level you can do coinless, and we want to be avoiding coins wherever possible to avoid that text box at the end, which is why you do a single jump.
And here, just trying to make sure we stick to the right as much as possible, because as stupid as it sounds, it's shorter, because the planet's curved, and so it's just shorter on the inside of the curve. Which may not seem like it matters, but it genuinely, across the whole climb, can save you like up to a second.
It can be quite scary though, because there are like prickly vines that you have to dodge. It's very common to just run into them if you try to be too optimal. Alright, once again we have another Hungry Luma. But thankfully, because of Bank Toad, we still have those star bits, so that's not a problem. And this one is going to unlock Beat Block, which is another one of my favorite levels, where we move to the beat, I guess. This is one of those levels that people love pointing out as a long jump simulator, which makes it seem really easy, but trust me, this level is not easy. It's not even close to being easy. It's probably one of the more difficult levels in the entire run, at least to do optimally.
Yeah, this level has obviously 2 cycles, because being a level entirely based on the beat, of course there's a separate cycle for if you get an FPJ at the start of a level.
Yeah. Oh dang, got stuck on the crystal. So what makes this level so hard is maintaining Mario's momentum. And it's hard because you have to press Z and A basically on the same frame. And if you miss that, then Mario will lose all of his momentum. And then you have to, like, you know, walk a bit forwards, and then your cycle's all messed up. And then obviously, because you're long jumping so much and you can't really change your direction when long jumping, it makes it pretty difficult to get the right angle for everything. I think it took me like across the span of 2 days, around 15 hours to try and grind for a really good time on that level, which is a lot for this game. Usually it doesn't take nearly as long.
Especially since the level's less than 40 seconds long.
Yeah. And that's followed by, you know, another long jump simulator. So this one is like actually easy, this one's free.
Yeah, if you're ever trying to defend this game away from being a long jump simulator, you might not want to use this level as an example. Because I believe there is exactly one jump that isn't a long jump.
I think all of them are long jumps, I'm pretty sure.
I can't remember what cycle you go for at the end here.
It's like a bunch of long jumps and then you walk straight forwards.
Ah, yeah, I do a single jump there. That makes sense.
Yeah, this is what Galaxy's really all about.
But hey, we long jump faster than anyone else, so still counts.
Yeah, it's a long jump simulator, but it's easier to lose time on the long jumps. But you know, thankfully now we have an actually exciting level coming up with Yoshi. And this has probably one of the coolest tricks in the run. As my personal favorite trick. And it's called Hammer Jump. It barely saves any time, but it looks really flashy.
But for Hammer Jump, there's a lot more Yoshi flutters because we just can't get enough of them.
Yeah, we love Yoshi flutters.
This whole level is based over these platforms that you're supposed to wait on and ride and use some bullet bills to break open cages. But they actually left enough platforms that didn't have cages on them to where we can just flutter, like, across massive gaps without caring.
Yep, who needs platforms when you can just do this?
Kind of nicely between a rock and a hard place, or the rock and the cage, I suppose, and just dismount onto this platform. And if you thought that was big, we'll do an even bigger one.
I dismount off Yoshi there to set up my angle properly. Because you can do it without dismounts, but it makes it a lot less consistent and I don't trust it. Alright. Really cool boss fight coming up. So you basically just to shoot these blue things with Yoshi. We have to do it in a specific order to manip the boss, kinda. Alright, let me focus for this one. Oh, he broke. Get the backup. Nice, okay, I got the backup. So basically, you jump off that hammer, grab a bullet bill, and then shoot him like right in front of his face. But I went a little too early, so the bullet bill blew up. But I backed it up pretty nicely, so it's all good. Though Yoshi's dead though, that's an unfortunate side effect, but it had to be done. That's level 3. That's halfway... I think that's the halfway point of the run, almost. There's a lot of backtracking later on, which adds some more time.
Yeah, we're not halfway through time-wise, but worlds-wise, that'll do.
You know, it's true, we're not halfway through time-wise, but there is not that much time left anyway for us to get to that Sonic Racers incentive. If anyone is just now arriving, this is Quest for Cat. We are raising money to help fund the training and racing of a brand new service pet, service dog. And we're here all weekend. We've already raised over $1,000. And right now we are trying to reach that milestone of $1,250 by the end of this run. Any Sonic fans out there who might be showing up a little early, excited to see even more Sonic, you can head over to our donate page, which is in the chat right now. You can always hit !donate to see it again. And every little bit is getting us a little bit closer.
Yeah, so now heading on to World 4, our first level is a Hungry Luma. Because why wouldn't it be? Yeah, Supermassive as one player is quite slow. it would be slow as 2-player, but they can actually do a death warp to grab a checkpoint while backflipping off an edge to just do a pretty big skip. And that makes it just about viable for some routes.
Yeah,
But-
unfortunately we are not doing Supermassive. We are doing probably the hardest level in the entire game. And this is like probably the biggest run killer besides Sorbetti skip. Because it has a bunch of flutters and the angles are really specific and it's really inconsistent and it's really punishing. It's just, you know, all of the
This
best.
level has a lot going on.
Yeah, it's all of the best stuff combined. I think we should be fine here. Very nice. Didn't die. That's a pretty big W in my opinion.
Another fun fact about this level is it can actually be one of the biggest time losses if you fail that last flutter, because until you land on that final platform, there's actually no death barrier. So if you fall, you actually don't die and you just keep going all the way to the floor of the level, and you either have to exit the stage or long jump for about like 20 to 30 seconds to finally fall off and die.
Yeah, it's like a ridiculously stupid time loss. Like you basically just have to quit out because it's faster than trying to die with Mario. And then, fortunately, the rest of World 4 is not that bad.
Yeah. We do actually continue it off with a pretty big skip here, but no Yoshi for this one. Just some good old-fashioned gravity shenanigans.
Whoops. Yeah, that's a pretty, that's a pretty weird collision. Loves to push you off randomly.
Yeah, so you wanna slide off that roof to just get a bunch of momentum, and then just go all the way to the boss fight.
Yeah, you basically skip this entire level. See, this is why we love Super Mario Galaxy. It's because you get to do stuff like that you don't really see in many other games. Oh, I did it too early there.
Yeah, this boss fight is horrendous, if not for the fact that you can just do that and just go forward, like back and forth through the middle, and just hit him without him even having to hit Glandoza without her ever having to move. Because as soon as that one becomes inaccessible from a fireball, it is borderline insufferable to get her over one that isn't blocked off. It's awful.
Yeah, I don't even know how to do it casually. Like, I remember
I know it took me an hour to do it casually, and then I found out how to do it in the speedrun, and wanted to play this game more.
Yeah, I've messed that up in a run once, and I think I lost 3 minutes to it because I just couldn't beat it casually. Because it's so ridiculously difficult. For whatever reason. Alright, Flip Soul 2. This is basically an auto-scroller. We just collect all the silver stars in a cycle-based order. There's like a tiny skip at the start, but that's about it. Like, a lot of these levels are really consistent. Like, they're all, like, cycle-based.
I heard the word auto-scroller and my host brain just lit up. like a neon sign. I would love to just make sure everyone knows that the minimum donation for this event is just $1. And if you see that number up at the top, that's over $1,000. I am looking at the numbers and I am telling you, we got to that number through a lot of donations, and a lot of those are $1, $2, $5. I know it's a cliche to say that every little bit makes a difference, but it really is true. So for just $1, you can make a huge difference.
Very true. It's just like in speedruns, every second counts. It adds up.
Absolutely. Oh, I can't tell you how many runs I've said, that gets us about 1/10 of a second. I am thrilled about that.
Yeah, for sure.
If you want tenths of second, there's another one. Say it's about 0.8 to grab that star instantly. And it is just as simple as holding the opposite direction that the gravity's facing. Because Mario's hitboxes with the spin drill are really just that stupid.
Yeah, I don't know why that works. It's pretty dumb. It's like surprising how little people know about that though. Because for a while it was thought to be just RNG. Alright, here's another basically auto-scroller. Not really, but last part might as well be. The hard part is the beginning, but like even that is not that bad if you just take it safe.
But there is actually a fun thing that I don't know if we've mentioned yet. We've mentioned camera cancels after you land from a launch star, but certain launch stars, if you just crouch when you enter them, you'll get what's called an insta-walk, and you can just walk off without doing anything.
Yeah, it's really useful. I really don't know what causes them to work though. It feels really random. Like I know there are 2 in Sky Station, and then there are 2 in Chomprix, but I can't like think of any other ones. Besides maybe like Cosmic Cove.
A lot of this game, with some of its random qualities, is just a case of we've discovered you can do it in that place. We don't know why you can do it in that place, you just can. This game even baffles us sometimes.
Yeah, another interesting thing is, despite being a Wii game, these star bits, they cause like a ton of lag in this level. Especially in the Comet for this level, because there are also cosmic cones. So it's actually faster to grab all of the star bits and then shoot them out than to just leave them. I think it saves like a second in total. Which is pretty crazy for just like an auto-scroller.
And even then you have to shoot them out slowly, because if you shoot them out too fast, then there'll be too many star bits on screen, and then you've defeated the very thing that you were trying to gain.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid. And we only discovered that a few months ago. Like, we just didn't know that. You would just like randomly lose a second in this level, and we had no idea why. And what's interesting is this game has IGT, or in-game time, and it shows it at the end of every level. And lag, like in-game lag, it doesn't affect that timer.
Yeah, so you can see from this one, it took us 2 minutes, 4 seconds, and 0.26 seconds.
Yeah. So like certain people's times would be like the exact same on the timer, but then they'd collect the star quicker or slower. And we had no idea what causes that. Like that was a huge mystery for years, basically. Until we finally figured it out. Now it's like a really easy time save.
And that IGT is also quite relevant because there's actually a level in this run where it's possible to tie tasks to the frame And it's not even just possible, it's actually really quite easy. And yeah, so in the comet that we were just talking about for Chomp Works, if you spawn the with some consistent movement, you can spawn the cosmic clones on the same frame that the Chomp that's first there when you spawn in, like, dies. And so, because the whole level's an auto-scroller and the Chomp's just slowly going towards the launch star, if you grab the star instantly, you'll just get the same IGT every time.
That's really cool. So if you want to get a world record in Super Mario Galaxy 2, that's the IL to go for.
Even I have that one.
Yeah, everyone can do it. Again, pretty auto-scroller level. There's not much going on. This next story though, this one's really hard. This one has a lot of flutters, a lot going on.
Start on each one, yes. Yeah. I don't remember your route, I'll be completely honest.
It's Starshine Beach.
I thought it was, yeah. Debatably one of the worst levels from just a fun perspective, not even from a speedrunning one.
Yeah, it's really difficult to get that level consistently. It's so funny because World 4 starts off with like a really difficult level, and then it's like 5 really easy stars, and then a really difficult one, and then another really easy one, and then like one of the most difficult stars in the entire game again. It's like no in between in this world. It's all like really easy or really hard.
Yes! Whee!
So here we give a couple of star bits just to stun this crab, just a small time save, because then when we get Yoshi, we can actually grab that crab and just flutter up a couple times to this cage. Instead of having to get a Spiny from Lakitu and bring it all the way up, we can just get it instantly.
This flutter is really annoying because the angle is really stupid. I think I messed it up there,
This is
yeah.
what we call a YOLO flutter, because you pretty much just have to guess the angle every time. You can get consistent with remembering the general idea, but sometimes you'll just get it slightly off, and then it's just not fun.
It's because the camera angle you get when breaking the cage will differ slightly each time. So you have to kind of account for that, and it's really easy to just mess it up. Same for this part. You can't really see in front of you, so you have to like kind of adjust at the end. And it's really easy to miss the silver star.
Do you remember from High Turtle's Comet, just like dismounting off Yoshi on a slightly not horizontal surface just to get launched? Well, you just do it again. Just make sure to grab the Comet Medal, one of the most painful ones to forget because the level's so long and annoying. And then just right into the star.
It's a really cool level when done right, but it's a massive pain. Such a hard level to do, like, consistently.
One of my least favorite levels for sure.
It's definitely one of the ones I've spent the most time on. And then this next one is just really easy. Like, you'll never lose like a lot of time in this unless you mess up the trick, but the trick is really easy.
The intended route is to go all the way over to that giant behemoth of a structure that's over the water, swim all the way under the water to the bottom, swim into the structure, swim all the way up, hit a switch to activate some bubbles and the cloud flowers just dotted around, and then take the cloud flower all the way over to the tower, and then climb it. That takes a while, and we don't want to do that. So what we can do is use backwards momentum. We do use it again. From getting launched from a Pianta, if anyone's ever played Mario Sunshine, there you go, they're back. And we can get thrown backwards, land on a cloud, jump, and like briefly off the cloud and just make it up. Just like that.
I'm pretty sure that's the single biggest skip in the entire game.
Oh, I'd say definitely.
And it's
Besides
super
maybe,
easy.
besides
Anyone can
maybe
do that.
G-Gen Flutter.
Nah, it saves more time.
In all honesty, this level is just insanely slow unless you do that. And even if you don't do that, there's not really any optimizations besides that. Like, if you don't do that trick, you pretty much have to take the scenic route fully.
Yeah, there's no other option.
Yeah, there's not even any, like, cloud boost long jumps for most of the level that you can use until, like, the end when you actually get it. It's just... it's a bit infuriating.
And this level is interesting because it's both an auto-scroller but also really hard. Because you'll most often than not end up with like the exact same IGT time, but like the actual execution is pretty difficult. Because if you miss a single coin, you miss a cycle and it's like 4 seconds or more.
Yeah. Just want to make sure we grab like all of the coins in each section, preferably with as few gravity changes as possible. Yeah, do some hitbox abuse to just grab coins that we're nowhere near, do it again. There's a lot of it in this level.
Yeah, the drill hitbox is pretty insanely big, for whatever reason.
Like here, we can just grab every single one of these with just the side flip and a spin.
That one is always scary, because if you mistime that one, you drill all the way down. You have to make your way back all over here, and it's like, I think it was like 30 seconds.
Yeah, you have to go through like 6 different like areas again, wait for 2 whole cycles. It's painful to miss that one. And now we get some more purple coins in Sweet Mystery Comet.
This is like a really, really fun level. Because the purple coin levels in G1 were always like really, really long and kind of boring. But they like kind of fixed that with Galaxy 2. Because they made them like really short, and at most you're collecting 100, if not less.
Yeah, pretty much all of them are the time attack variety, rather than the take an exploration around this galaxy. Things like Sea Slide Purples in the first game is very notorious because it's just so long.
Like 6 minutes or something, right?
Yeah, something like that. Even at top level, it's like borderline longer than any of the levels in this game, including the ones with massive multiple-minute boss fights. But there aren't any of those in Galaxy 2.
Yeah, the ones here are really short and fun.
The longest one is like a minute 30, I think.
Yeah, it's minute 30.
Probably. All these coins pretty much nicely in a line, besides those few at the beginning, but... making sure to get bloom fruits whenever we need them, and just cruise on through, honestly.
Alright, and now it's time for Chomper C, which is the one we can tie tasks in. Probably the easiest level in the game. If you just pay attention, because it's also easy to mess it up and die. Which happens pretty frequently, because people like zone out.
Yeah, it's one of those levels, it's so easy and so boring that it becomes that slightly bit hard again, because it's hard to even look at the screen, because there's so little going on.
Luckily, we can kind of avoid that by collecting the star bits, so it's not as boring anymore. But it's still pretty boring.
Yeah, because unlike in Chompworks 1, where as one player we're forced to wait for the first chomp to die, as two player you could have stopped it, but we don't. Here,
So I gotta make sure I don't die here.
yeah, please don't. Here, all that matters is just making sure we can keep this first jump alive and then just not dying to whatever else is going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Alright, and it's time for Gravity Gauntlet, which is the end of World 4.
And the level which sucks at pretty much every level, because no matter what level you are, you'll probably be doing some trick, and all of them are inconsistent in different ways.
Yeah, it has a pretty difficult trick in it. Jay's 90% world record, it was like a really solid run, and then at the very end he missed a trick here and lost like 30 seconds, and it's such a shame.
This was in the Comet, just for reference.
Yeah.
The Comet
You
is
did this trick
done
twice.
at the very end of the run. The trick is done twice, because the Comet is just a speedy Comet to get to the end of this first section.
It's like no matter how good you get at this trick, sometimes it'll just fail because it's inconsistent.
Yeah, the trick's called Inside the Castle, or ITC for short, and it's very weird because it involves getting a very precise long jump after walking on an area it doesn't even feel like you're meant to be in. I'm not no life focus, but it's very weird.
Got it.
Very nice. Yeah, so with some really surprisingly precise movement over that pillar, you can get a long jump. If you get the long jump in the right direction, then you might... Oh! And we get a double hit.
Nice. Yeah, that double hit is really precise. It's like only a couple pixels that work.
Yeah, it's about like 3 pixel perfect. But yeah, ITC is... It's up there with Sorbet Skip for the hardest trick done in runs. And yeah, it's one of those where even the tiniest misalignment and you just won't get a long jump.
It's very sketchy.
And you just do some movement in blind gravity and you can just get straight to the launch star.
It's one of those tricks where I'm really confident that I can get it, but if I'm on a really good run and I'm like really nervous and I overthink it, it's very likely that I'll just end up failing it.
It is very satisfying to hit though.
Yeah, for sure. Also saves a lot of time. Because you skip the entire level.
Yeah. So here, unlike the first Bowser level, we're going to do a punch cancel. So we're going to wait for him to pull his arm out, and then we can hit him right at the end, and that basically just skips his next cycle. His next action would usually be a punch, but we can skip that, and so he'll move on to his next one, which is the boulders. And so that saves like 5 seconds or something.
Yeah, something like that.
You only do it for the first hit, because here, his first action is to drop boulders on you, and then he'll shoot fire. So here, if you go for a punch cancel, then you'll actually boulder cancel, and that loses even more time because obviously you kind of need those. So you just want to hit him as fast as possible. You also want to make sure he's moving as little as possible once he's finished with his fire phase before he punches the rocks. You can just have some consistent movement to make sure, you know, he always punches where he finishes, and then you're always ready to hit him with a different boulder.
Also, just heads up, I'm quickly gonna run to the bathroom after this cutscene. So we're gonna go. Been drinking too much water.
It's important to stay hydrated.
That's true, that's true. Alright, I'll be right back.
Well, this gives me a perfect opportunity to welcome in any new folks who might be joining us. We are smack dab in the middle of Quest for Cat. This is a mutual aid event, raising money to help friend of the community, Trainer Anade, to train and raise their next service animal, Quet. And I want to let everyone know, I have seen a picture of Quet. He is unbelievably precious, unbelievably sweet. If you want to see Quet for yourself, if you want to keep up with their journey after the event, you can always type !socials or !TikTok in the chat to get a link to Quet and Anade's socials. And that will also help you keep track of all the amazing support and work that your donations are going towards. The money that we're raising this weekend will help to cover Quet's training, which can be very specific for a service dog. Of course, his food, training treats, and even really specific things like dog shoes. Because if you know anything about service animals, they are often in situations where they need to protect their paws from ice or salt or any other kind of rough terrain. So that is what your money is going towards. And it is also going towards getting us more of that Sonic Riders Future run that's coming up right after this. And y'all, I just saw a little bit of the gameplay in Sonic Riders Future. It is genuinely jaw-dropping. So if you have a chance to even just chip in a couple bucks and get us closer to seeing more of that run, now is the perfect time to do it. If you put !donate in the chat, you'll see the link and get us some more speedrunning.
Wonderful.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Only a small time loss.
Yeah, I mean, it's not personal best pace, and I'm way ahead of estimate, so it's all good.
I just figured you were doing me a personal favor. And then
That too.
talk about all the
of
things I
course.
wanted to talk about. Yeah, we worked this out ahead of time.
It's all planned.
It's a scripted.
All right, we're going back to World 1 now. Because we gotta take out some comets. This is a really fun part of the run, in my opinion. Gets us to like mentally prepare for World 5 and 6, which is notoriously difficult.
Here we just run around as the Rainbow Star and just kill every single Spiny. There's not really much to comment on besides the fact that if one of them dies off screen, then the game doesn't actually know it died until you change the camera to put it back on screen. So some of them, if you hit them and then run away really quickly, then the camera will move, and so it's still technically alive. And so sometimes you'll get to the end having killed them all, and it says 29 out of 30, and you're thinking, where's the last one? And you turn the camera once, and poof, nothing happens and you finish the stage.
Yeah, it can be really frustrating, because you can get like a really good time, and then you have to turn the camera in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, so here, going to the cheapest Hungry Luma. Only 300 star bits for Flip Swap Galaxy.
And Flip Swap's Galaxy is pretty fun. You get to do a lot of really cool jumps with the flip panels. It can be a bit tricky, but they're really cool.
Yeah, the jumps are pretty self-explanatory, but you basically just want to spin as you're walking off a platform to switch them to the other side, and then as the platform is swinging around, you can land on it early, and then get a long jump boosted by it swinging around and just launch yourself.
Yeah, it's very janky.
And we do 5 or 6 in this level.
I don't actually know, it depends on which route you do. That's one. I'm gonna wait here because cycles. I love cycles. It's 2. It's 3. 4. 5. Oh, I'm dead. Okay. I think that's the first death of the run. That's actually really not that bad.
It's the first death.
Yeah. Now we get to do it again. It was all intended because it's really fun.
Yeah, we're also doing spin cancel long jumps. So if you spin, you can just cancel it by jumping afterwards. And those are quite fun until they go wrong. Because sometimes you'll get what's commonly known as a double spin, where you'll spin, you'll keep going, and then it'll register another spin, and then you've just walked off the edge and there's no platform there to save you.
Yeah. Sometimes you also get sloped when trying to do a jump, and it's just GG. Having this level this late into the run is pretty annoying. A lot of people like to get this one out of the way early because it's very janky. It can like randomly kill you. But it's all good. Up next we have Fire Wheel for TSC, which is Gobblegut again. And it's basically the same exact boss fight, just with the timer. The timer is no problem. They give you way too much time for this boss fight.
In fairness, this boss fight isn't designed to where you can just... Because normally you would want to wait for him to try and hit you a couple times. He'll launch himself into the ground, and then as he like passes through the planet, his bellyache boulders get stuck one by one, and you gotta hit them. But that takes a while, and a lot of the time his body's just close enough to the ground to where, just with some movement, we can just hit them without him ever needing to do that.
True, true.
Like even just at the start of a level, the time has barely started, it's 1 second down, we're already into the second phase.
Oh, I got a delayed spin input there. GG. Sometimes the Wiimote likes to not register your inputs correctly. And it's completely random. It can just happen sometimes. I know,
So even with that mistake, the timer went down a grand total of 17 seconds.
yeah,
out of 2
really,
minutes.
really bad boss fight.
We just absolutely demolish it.
You know, like delayed spin inputs or just like dropped spin inputs are really common. And it's a big problem for the longer categories. Because the main person that runs those categories is Jay, and he's lost like countless runs to just a dropped input in late game and loses like over a minute, and it's just like, what can you do? The run's dead. You're like 6 hours in and your input drops and it's just GG. go again. It can be very rough at times. And this is Boulder Bowl L, and we'll be delivering a Goomba to the Guillermo. And this is quite an annoying level, because the path from the Goomba to the Guillermo is blocked off by chomps and boulders. And if you don't know how to, you know, guide the Goomba correctly, this can be a really frustrating level, because he can keep getting squished. But luckily, if you do that and just get hit, you can like make him wait, and it becomes a really easy level. Obviously, like optimally, you don't want to wait for him. But in a marathon setting, I don't mind losing a couple seconds.
This run also has a very notorious soft lock,
Yeah.
which has happened to No Life in a marathon run. I've commentated before, and it's quite funny because it's really strange because no one's really sure how it happens. There's
Happens randomly.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different things, all of which seem frame perfect, which seem to have an effect, but then somehow aren't replicable. But sometimes after the Goomba goes into it, like you'll activate it, and so it'll play the little tune, and then it just doesn't play any of the text boxes, it just freezes. And you just have to reset the game.
Luckily, the game autosaves, so the run's not dead. You just lose a ton of time. Luckily, it's also not common. Like, you won't regularly lose runs to it. I haven't lost a run to this in like years at this point.
Yeah, I had it happen to me twice in the same run about 2 years ago, and I've had it happen, like, I don't even think I've had it happen since.
Which is a good thing.
Yes, very much so.
Alright, another really hard level. I'm gonna lock in for this one.
Yeah, this level's a lot like Lava Lab 1, but just a lot more stressful because the time is actually relevant here.
Alright, I'm glad I grabbed the live stream. That was pretty sketchy. Made it work
Luckily,
though.
you can stand on that tiny rim around the outside of the statue, but you really should not rely on it.
Yeah, I know,
Sometimes
it's pretty
the
much
game
RNG whether or
will
not
be
you
nice
die.
to you, but it's a very janky, platform.
The most difficult part about that level is the womp cycles. Because you have to do a very specific camera manip for it to work. So I'm glad I got it, somehow. And this is another pretty difficult level, mainly because of the beginning movement. It has a really tough cycle they have to make. You have to do some very dodgy movement, but the rest of the level is luckily pretty easy. I'm just gonna do the easier variant. It's pretty common in this game to accidentally do a signal jump when going for a long jump because you're pressing Z and A like a frame apart and letting go of Z immediately after. Because you do want to go for those frame perfect jumps, otherwise you'll lose your speed upon landing.
Yeah, rolling speed long jumps really make a huge difference. I know someone, I can't remember which level it was, but I'm pretty sure one of our close friends, NolifeVV, did one where they did a level with only RSLJs versus with no RSLJs, and over the span of a minute, it saved like almost 7 seconds.
Yeah, and especially like with cycles, because sometimes it's required for cycles. You really do want to get those, because if you don't get them, you can lose like a ton of time. Like a level like Upside Dizzy, for example, you cannot make the fast cycle. You don't get frame perfect long jumps. So it's not just long jumps, it's hard long jumps.
It's not long jump simulator, it's running speed long jump simulator.
Yeah.
The full legal name.
Funnily enough though, that's like not really a thing in Galaxy 1. Like people often will keep holding Z to maintain their momentum because they have a lot more long jumping sections, whereas Galaxy 2, you want to be walking a lot more with Mario. It's just like the way the levels are designed. It works out that way.
Yeah, because in Galaxy 1, a lot more of them are more linear. Sort of, you're kind of going from here to there. Whereas... There's a camera manip here? I did not know that. Sorry. Whereas in this game, there's also quite a lot of vertical in a lot of levels. There's very few levels where you're just going from A to B.
In general, Galaxy 2 is just a lot more movement heavy than Galaxy 1. Though that doesn't mean it doesn't have tricks though, it does have tricks. I've not done this backup in a while, as you can tell.
Yeah. You're spinning too early.
Okay, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, usually you just want to triple jump into that star, but if you miss it, then there's no space to triple jump, really. Especially with the top mans. So, I'm gonna backflip off that fence, which is harder than it looks. Especially when, you know, you already know that you've missed it, you're trying to back it up, you're trying to go fast.
Alright, another very annoying level, because this is very RNG heavy. There's an RNG triple jump at the end of the level, and if you miss it, I think it's like 10 to 20 seconds.
10, 15, I would get, yes. Yeah.
This can be a rough level in runs. And just like a really cool skip here, where you can just skip the entire level using Cloud power-up.
Yeah, you can just do some long jumps through the void and just make it into the gravity of this area. And funnily enough, the gold medal's right here. So just go slightly past the launch star.
Very convenient.
Never miss that comet medal. Very painful comet medal to miss.
Yeah, it happens quite often because people, they focus too much on the trick and then they forget that the comment medal exists. And they skip it and their route is completely messed up.
Yeah, so we have another camera manip to make sure that these falling ice blocks are off screen so that we can use them as platforms. But no, I know before, I haven't actually forgotten about it. I've just accidentally spun into the launch star because I've had some weird movement, I landed in a weird place. I'm just trying to get to the comet medal, I've almost fallen in a gap and I'm like, oh, I should spin to save myself. Spun into the launch star and then I've missed the comet medal.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about spinning. It's used for so many things that sometimes accidentally spinning can be pretty bad in certain scenarios. Oh, actually got it there. Nice.
Yeah, so there, this Prince Bacante, that's his name, will always shoot out about 6 things. There will always be, it will either always be 1 and 4, 2 and 5, or 3 and 6 will be coconuts, which you can use to hit him. The rest are fireballs. And it's entirely RNG which. And depending on the order that he shoots them, is where they land. So the first thing he shoots out will always land in the same place. It's just RNG whether it will be a fireball or a coconut.
Yeah,
So
you
even
have to
if
kind
you
of
get the triple jump to hit, I think there you had a 3-6, right?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah. So there, No Life hit the 6th one with the spin, and the 3rd one was like nicely over there, out of the way, and so No Life could go get it. But you have to, even while you're getting the triple jump, you have to pay attention to which one you're hitting so that you don't go to the wrong place. It's very technical.
Very technical, and like getting the triple jump to work is very annoying because you have to.
Also, the triple jump itself is already bad enough.
You have to make sure that you can hit like all 5 coconuts at the same time, which sucks. Because you need to like.
If you're a big fan of and if you're a big fan of FPJs, you're gonna love this level because this one has 3 of them.
It does, yeah. I've actually gotten all 3 2 times so far.
2 of them can actually be substituted for frame perfect camera cancels, but they're not as useful with them following movement, and also they're less consistent because they need, because you can still like D-pad up frame perfectly, but because it requires 2 inputs, it's harder to do a frame perfect input and then immediately another input right after, while still being fast. Yeah, landing on that moon, landing on that planet beforehand, and landing in the level are all frame perfect jump opportunities. For some reason. This level doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, so you can imagine it's very fun to grind this out in ILs.
We actually don't get the coal medal here because of the skip that I was talking over. I kind of forgot it existed. Where you can manipulate the gravity by activating the right wall early, going back on yourself, and then you can just long jump to the launch star because the gravity will change like when you get close to it. It's not too hard, but it's quite scary.
It's not scarier than it looks though.
I actually had to relearn it recently because I completely forgot how it worked. Sorry, go on.
No, I'm so sorry. Speaking of grinding, we're getting even closer to even more rail grinding in Sonic Racer's future. Sorry, Sonic Rider's future, excuse me. I really nailed that segue. I think that was perfect. I didn't make any mistakes. We are now less than $150 away from that milestone, so we are making progress. We still got a little bit of time left in this run, but not too much. And as a reminder, if you aren't satisfied with getting us closer to that milestone, and it's not enough to help fund the training of a new service pet, I have to stop saying service pet, service dog, excuse me. There's also an Octopath Traveler bid war that's still open that has been starting to heat up a little bit. English is still in the lead, but there's some love for Japanese, just $19 behind. So you can always assign your donation to that incentive to make your voice heard.
I voted for Japanese, so if you've been liking the commentary, you could do me a solid.
That's right.
That's a single jump, no life.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's always a fun one. So that's a classic there. You do a single jump instead of a Z input, and You're just dead. Not much you can do
actually
about that.
save it funnily enough, if you spin backwards, because it takes Mario so long to die in the poison, you can actually land back on the platform that hasn't come out yet. And so the platform will like bring you back above the surface before you die. But
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that.
yeah. But it's also really easy to forget about that because ideally you'd never be in that situation. Oh. Yeah, not long jumping to that star early. Just watching the shadow on the ground helps a lot with depth perception.
It's a really scary long jump though, because that perception there is really bad. I've seen a lot of people lose like really good runs to that jump, because the depth perception is just awful. This level's really cool. This has one of the harder cycles in the game, but if you do get it, it's like, it's really clean.
One of my favorite galaxies in the game.
It's really annoying.
My two favorite of the levels aren't even in this run.
Oh yeah, the green stars.
The green stars. I love the green stars in this level. Yeah. So here, we're just doing some funky movements, just get through the level as quickly as possible.
Also collecting a ton of star bits for later on.
Yep. And you may think we don't want those, but there's a lot of these, I've forgotten what they're called, little blue guys that latch onto you, and you can actually shoot them with star bits to kill them, rather than having to deal with that, and you can just continue on without being slowed down by them.
Nice. That's the fast cycle. If you actually get it, it's a really nice. It looks really clean. If you don't get it, that top section can be a nightmare. Especially if they miss the comet medal, you have to like do some backup movement, and it can just be a massive pain. Backups in general in this game are usually a massive pain and lose like a ton of time. It's quite funny because, you know, you'd think Galaxy is a really easy speed game. There's not much, you know, going on. There's not much going on with the movement. And you'd be right if you're talking about Galaxy 1. That game is widely considered to be the easier one, especially at like beginner level. Because of how hand-holdy it is. And this game, you know, you ran G1, you enjoyed it, you want to try Galaxy 2, you try it, and it's like super punishing. Like a lot of people will just straight up stop playing Galaxy 2 because of how punishing it is, and go back to Galaxy 1.
That's not to say that Galaxy 1 isn't a bad speed game. You know, everyone has their own enjoyments. No, I've still like a Galaxy 2 level though.
There's a lot more
even
forgiving.
here, with all of these mistakes, you still finish with 4 seconds on the timer. Ideally, you'd finish with, I believe, 9? 8 or 9?
I think 11.
Hello. There you go. Even more. I know it's 13 in right side down.
Alright, now we get to relax for a bit with 2 pretty easy stars, and then the real game begins. Because World 6 is like just a gauntlet of a bunch of really difficult levels right after another. Some of the hardest ones in the game. They all lose a ridiculous amount of time if you fail anything.
Yeah, unbelievably unforgiving. You mess up one long jump, take one raw angle in multi-molten 1, miss one spin input in multi-molten S, mistime a jump input in throwback, all of those are like a minute time loss at least.
90% of the runs you get to late game will all die like beginning of World 6.
Well, before things get intense, can I chime in with a quick donation?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
sure.
This might be a celebrity donation, actually. We have $5 from NolifeVV, who says, I'm the LeBron of Mario Galaxy. Big
Yeah, that
and
was for
true.
sure me.
Listen, I knew No Life was a little bit busy with the game, so I just thought I'd put their I thought I'd put their thoughts on paper.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
That's good commentating.
That's a very fun level. You get to just skate. Or not skate. It's actually faster to walk while in the rainbow form and take out all of the Octoombas.
Didn't it get retimed to be the same?
Skating is slightly faster, but it's a lot harder to maneuver properly. So in runs, we like to walk. Or run, in this case.
Yeah, the worst thing you can do, which I actually didn't know for the longest time, is when you're skating, you need to just stay skating and keep building momentum. And because usually when you're skating, you get tempted to keep doing little spin inputs. I don't actually know if it makes you faster, but it feels like it does. But there, it actually cancels your rainbow star momentum, and so you'll never actually reach your top speed if you do that. So the first time after I found that out, I got a free 15-second gold.
Once again, chip minigame. Very straightforward.
Yeah.
For this one, you have to get
different
600.
patterns. Yeah, different
What?
patterns, but you have to get 600.
That's the same patterns.
Later on, it's different.
Oh, it's the exact same.
No, this one, no.
It is the exact same. It's just
no,
like
there's a couple that are different, I swear.
you're not the first person to think that, but they are in fact the same. I remember I had like a big argument with some other runners about this, and then I proved them wrong.
Well, I would argue with you, but not on stream.
I think the biggest reason why people think they're different is because they'll get different scores. They'll get like a higher score in one of them than in the other one and think they're different. While in fact they're the exact same. It's kind of hard to tell though, because the angles are all different. Like the
Now we
patterns
have
are
the
the
boom
same, but
bunker.
they're rotated differently.
Yeah. I head on to Boom Bunker, which is our last Bowser Jr. level of the run. And my personal favorite Bowser Jr. level of the run, by far.
Yeah, it's also a really good nerf check for World 6. Because if you're nervous here, you're not going to have a good time, because you have to aim out of 2 cannons. And I do what's called an insta-shot, which is where you aim before the cutscene starts. Or not cutscene, before you can even see where you're aiming to. So it's like pre-firing, basically. I think I missed it there, yeah.
We're going to have
Woo!
the soundtracks in this game are absolutely incredible. Like, this and the first game, I'd argue still have the best soundtracks of any Mario game. The full orchestra just, it makes it so good. So here
I
we
totally agree
want
with that.
here we want to just nicely go over the edge of the barracks so that we get like pulled into the gravity, and as an added bonus, we can kill the hammer bro on our way.
I think that works.
You'd be on the right side, but yeah. Here again, we can just skip getting the cloud flower just by making sure we long jump just before the edge of the platform, just for some gravity manipulation. Slingshot around.
Yeah,
And then
very,
it's the boss
very
fight.
scary level when you're nervous. Even when you're not nervous. As you just saw, it's very easy to miss.
And then one of my favorite boss fights of the entire game.
Oh, definitely. Because it uses the cloud flower, so you know what that means. Cloud side all time.
Even without that, it's still very satisfying.
Yeah, it's
I
a
don't
really
do
good
cloud
boss
side
fight.
flips, and I love it. So should hit him as soon as he's done with his "Oh, I'm electric, don't hit me" phase. And then he gets tall, but we have these conveniently placed fans that we can just use to get up, get a new cloud, go even higher, and then just hit him.
Very cool stuff. Really fun level. Very hard, but really fun.
And then we move on to World 6, which is by far the hardest world of the run.
Still way ahead underestimate, thankfully. So I can afford to make a couple mistakes.
Yeah, I'm only one death so far.
Nah, it's been 2.
2?
Yeah, flip stop.
Oh yeah, Boom Bunker. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
I'm like surprised at how well I'm playing because I de-rusted just earlier today. I haven't played last month.
Surprised you even woke up in time.
I do want to remind everyone at home that it's true, No Life is flying through this run, which means it is going to be over before you know it, which means we are running out of time to meet that milestone to extend that Sonic Riders Future Race, which, if you're not aware, means that we'll be adding the Blaze and Vector bonus races, which I believe Vector was only added to the game pretty recently. So this is pretty new content. It's very exciting from what I've seen. And we've got a little less than $150 to go.
Let's go. You love to see it.
And we have donations getting us there, like $13 from Shredberg, who says, gaming.
Big gaming. And you're gonna see, hopefully, some more gaming. Because, as scary as this level is, it is very, very cool.
Very cool, but really punishing. I'm gonna play it
I'm
safe
guessing
here because I don't want to lose an entire minute.
Yeah,
so I'll grab an
please get
extra
the
coin.
Please get the coin.
Yeah, I will. Don't worry.
Yeah, this level based almost entirely on damage boosting in this section. We can get this life up shroom
I messed it up.
and just lava boost all the way past these poles, all the way past these platforms. Who needs lives? You actually don't need the coin. Yeah, just
Oh, wait,
head
you're
up,
right.
get these tornadoes.
Wait, no, I might. Okay, no, I don't need it.
We could get that coin as a backup, but because we bonked on that little edge, so we have an extra coin. Doesn't matter. But here, these platforms are extremely janky because there's a lot of tiny gravities and not much space to use them. So there, we can just nicely get lava boosted across that gap. And if you don't get this crystal almost instantaneously, then you will get hit by the Chava or Magma. I never remember the difference. and then you'll get bounced around probably 3 different of the little spheres, and then you'll have to hit it again. It can go downhill very quickly.
It's arguably the jankiest section in the entire game. And you have to do it with 1 health and runs. It's so scary. Unless you get the coin, of course. Alright, another really scary level.
From the same galaxy.
Yeah, all of the levels in here are really scary.
So now we have Melty Monster 2, where we are once again in control of the rock mushroom. No rock jumps this time though. There's only one place to use them, it's incredibly inconsistent and saves less than a second. So, not quite worth it.
There's like a big bridge and you can rock jump over it, but it's really hard and really stupid.
There's only one person I know that can even do it consistently, and not even he goes for aim runs, so that just speaks to the difficulty of it. Okay, so you want to go to the left, see if we can land on that fence so that we don't have to redirect, and just trying to take as optimal lines as possible, always trying to go as forward as possible. We don't want to go too far to the side, because we want to go forward in general. Jump over that gap just for style points. Axe is faster, but that's not the point. Some fun hitboxes for zigzag skip. Normally you'd go forward, bounce back on yourself, go backwards, bounce forward again, and then go up. We can just zip across the middle of the zigzag.
So that's like a lot easier than it looks, but it will never not be scary. It will always be extremely scary.
Yeah,
even
because if you are off, you'll slightly fall off, your rock will hit the side of the platform, and you'll fall, and you'll be back at the start of the level.
Yeah, that's one place you really don't want to be overthinking it, because if you overthink it, you're going to fail it and you're going to have a bad time.
And a fun example, this pipe for the secret is actually here in both Melty Monster 1 and Melty Monster 2. But for some reason it's faster in Melty Monster 2.
I think it's just because of the camera angle. It's easier to get into the pipe. This is really scary. I gotta lock in here.
Yeah, I'll let you focus. Nice.
Yeah. So that's called ramp skips, and you basically have to jump right before a ramp and then shake so that it cancels out the animation that shoots Mario out of the rock mushroom. So you just maintain your rock mushroom momentum throughout the entire thing, basically.
Yeah, it's the same from when we did it all the way back in Boulder Bowl. You want to shake just before you hit the ground, because if you're in the spin animation in the rock, then the ramp can't launch you, and then you can jump off the end. And normally, if you take a ramp, when you land, you'd like get a little stun. You have to wait to shoot again, but you can just keep going. But if you miss one, you're dead.
Yeah, you're dead, and the frame window is extremely tight. So I skipped out on 2 of them to be safe, but I think it was worth it.
Each one saves about like a second each, and there's like 8 of them in total, I think.
Yeah, in total it saves 15 seconds, it's like 2 seconds per.
Part of that comes from waiting for the cycle, though. I believe.
Oh yeah.
Yes, here we need 30 coins for the Hungry Luma, so we're just trying to get those as quickly as possible.
I was too
Almost
early
got
there, I
movement.
had to slow down. That's the problem with going too fast sometimes in a cycle-based game. Sometimes you gotta slow down.
Yeah, this is a very nerve-wracking level, especially... I'm not saying it's not for no life, but especially until you get very good, because these platforms, unless you have a set route that you know where you're gonna go, it can be very hard to improvise movement. So we get 19 coins, get 10 from the box, and just get 1 on our way down. And then, you know, that's only the easy part. The real hardest part of the level is actually after this Hungry Luma.
This ending jump it kills so many runs.
I know, there's
it's really
you
not
have to
that hard.
traverse all of these hammers, go all the way around, dodge them all, then come all the way back. Just kidding. You can just triple jump up. You don't even have to
It looks
triple
really
jump. There's
easy.
like 5 different ways to do that jump.
It looks really easy, but it's so easy to like get a bad angle and just die.
You can get a bad angle and die. If you do the straightforward method, you can get a spin bonk and die. If you do the backflip method, you can mistime your spin and die. But even still, it's so worth it. Because even if you die, I think you can probably do it 3 times and you'll still be saving. Like, you can fail it twice, get it on your 3rd try, you'll still be saving time over going around.
Yeah, sure.
You doing one clip?
Right. We're going back to Super Mario 64 with this one. This is everyone's favorite Womp's Fortress. Now, we're not going to be doing Canonless, but we are going to be beating the Womp. And just like in 64, you can actually clip through the Womp. And in this game, it's even better because the Womp can push you through the floor, but it saves 10 seconds, but it loses like over a minute if you fail it because he crushes you. So I don't think I'll be going for it today because I haven't done it in a while and I don't feel fully confident.
Yeah, if you stand in the right part, then you can jump right as he gets to you, and he'll clip you through the floor with like the very top of his head.
This boss fight also has faster strats where you stand on his toes and then he shoots you in the air and then you can ground pound sooner. But again, if you miss it, he kills you and you die and you lose like over a minute. World 6 has a lot of these like really tiny time saves that just instantly kill your run. It's really stupid.
Yeah, so you'll see when he gets ready to jump on us, he does his little hop. And if you were still on his toes, if you time a backflip right, then you can use the momentum of the backflip and him doing his jump to get launched into the air. And with the right angle, you can ground pound straight onto his weak point without having to walk over to it. That's crazy RNG.
It's not RNG.
Well, no, but wasn't exactly intended, so...
Yeah, it was pretty stupid. Getting stunned on top of him, I didn't even know that could happen.
I know you can backflip, like, and, like, half, like, get onto him early, but I guess I never considered that they would get a stun if you timed it just right on your way past.
Alright, now we can relax for a bit, but levels are still hard, they're just not extremely punishing anymore.
Yeah, definitely lose 30 seconds instead of a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're not done with Womp's Fortress this time. We're gonna get the 8 red the 8 silver, the 5 silver stars.
Yeah, they replaced the red coins with silver stars.
And yeah, one of them is still in the same spot as a red coin.
Oh yeah, the one, wait, is it?
On the Womp.
Oh yeah, on the Womp, you're right. I was thinking of a different one.
Actually, no, I'm lying. I don't know where I got that information from.
For some reason in Throwback 2 they added a Cloud Flower, so we're doing a bunch of Cloud Flower shenanigans to grab these silver stars. Which makes it a lot more interesting, in my opinion. That's for really interesting movement. Alright, and now we're going to be feeding the final Hungry Luma to open up Flash Black.
Oh, yeah.
And Flash Black is actually quite funny because it doesn't flash black. It flashes not black.
Oh, true.
It's quite a cool gimmick, really. I quite like it. Yeah. So this Luma wants 1800. So we've got about 100 left over just from when we got some left over from when we beat levels which we couldn't shoot them out of.
Yeah, ideally you'd have 0 here, but I got like 100 too many from Bank Toad. So the gimmick for this level is that everything is invisible, or should be invisible, because you can't see anything.
Everything's dark.
Yeah, everything is dark, but if you've done the level enough, you know where everything is, so it's not really a problem. It looks kind of scary in the final section, because we're just like long jumping over nothing, but just me, I know what I'm doing. Most of the time.
It'd be twice as funny if you die now after saying that.
I definitely will. Oh yeah, here you're supposed to use Yoshi, but we can... I was gonna say you can jump off of him. There you go.
Yeah, luckily they left just enough platforms for us to just climb as Mario. Again, Mario backflipping and things is quicker than the blimp fruit, just like in Tool Trunk. Except for here, because you can't get up because it's a slope platform.
You actually can get up, it's just really
you
hard.
can, but it's a really janky maneuver.
Alright, let's test my memory.
Again with the camera manip to make sure this yellow platform's in the right place.
I thought it was kind of scary, because you can like barely make that jump to the yellow platform. That ending movement's like really not that bad. It's just very difficult to start committing when you're not fully confident yet. Because in a lot of spots you come very close to the edge.
And then we unlock Slimy Spring Galaxy.
Which is like widely considered to be one of the easiest stars in the game. Which it's kind of true, but I also kind of disagree. Because I keep losing like a ton of time.
It's the easiest to complete. Being optimal requires good lines, sure. You can argue for it being hard in speedruns, but realistically, you should never be dying here. Or losing major time.
Which I always do.
I'm talking like 15 and above seconds.
Oh yeah, I usually lose like 5. It's like usually my biggest time loss in World 6. Unless I die somewhere. Because it's just hard to be consistent in this level.
So as always, we want the shell, because the shell's faster than Mario swimming, because Mario has a swim limit in this game. He can only swim every so often, unlike in the first game where you can just give your arm an insane workout and make Mario zoom.
Thankfully, that's not in this game because I hated that about the first game. It's so annoying. Now you could argue this is more boring, but I don't know.
It's also a nice break.
Yeah, it's a really nice break, like right before a bunch of hard comets.
I think there's very few people that complain about the existence of Slimy Spring 1. The other notable difference is that obviously this is a split path, and if we took the top path, you'll notice we didn't do all of the levels, and that's because the last level on the top path is Battle Bell, which is like significantly longer and also arguably even more boring because it's just going around a bunch of planets and killing like 2 enemies at a time, going on a launch star, killing 3 enemies, going on a pipe, killing 6 enemies, going out of the pipe. It's a lot of monotony.
Alright, we got Pointless. Pointless in this level is really difficult because you have to avoid those bubbles and their hitbox is massive. And it's really easy to accidentally hit the wall and bonk and lose your shell, and then it's just copium. But you gotta do it for that 1 second time save from getting no coins. And then we get to do a really cool jump here. By backflipping it to Captain Toad, you can launch yourself straight into the star. It saves like frames.
But it's fast.
It's fast, sure. Alright, we're back to Long Jumping Simulator with Hawney Hall's Comet.
Oh, yeah.
Like Haunting Halls 2, but with less long jumps.
Now you think this is really easy, but I can guarantee you, the amount of runs I've seen people lose here is ridiculous.
I've seen you lose at least 4 runs to this level.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's so easy to just like misjudge your long jump timings.
Yeah, misjudge
like,
your timing,
not spin.
misjudge where you're gonna land.
Yeah. Because you're trying to be optimal, so you don't want to spin ever. But not spinning usually means you die.
Plus also sometimes you just clip through the floor.
That too. Or you like mess up the cycles, because there are 2 cycles you have to learn. With and without FPJ. And you can like forget which one you're doing.
I think you've got an FPJ in like every level which has an FPJ cycle. And like none others.
Yep. FPJ consistency's been pretty good today. If you time it correctly, you can get a double crystal break there, but again, like the double lock, it's like pixel perfect. It's like crazy precise and rare.
Oh, yeah.
Basically RNG. In like the majority of levels in this game at top level, most of your time loss will just come from not getting the frame perfect jump at the start, or like dumb stuff like that you just can't make consistent no matter how much you practice it.
Yeah. If you watch high level runners, quite often you'll see that their comparison to gold is just like 0.7, 1.2, 1.3, 2.1, 1.4. And
It's like,
most of the time that's just from them not getting FPJ.
yeah. It's not really something you really can control. You can try and get more consistent at them, but you'll never be 100%.
Yeah. You can learn the frame to press it and try and time it. You can try and mash, but no one can mash at 60 clicks per second. Or if you can, I think you have bigger fish to fry.
Nice.
Nice.
I thought it was a really scary level, because, you know, when you're nervous and you have to do time jumps like that, it's very easy to mess up and fall down.
Plus landing, or if you miss a single platform, then chances are you're gonna fall through it, bonk on the side of the next platform, and die.
That too, yeah.
Do I have a moment to let folks know about an incentive we just opened up?
Can you wait until this next level? 'Cause
Absolutely. For sure.
Yeah. This
yeah,
is
this
ITCC.
is a big one.
ITC Comet. If you recall the trick where we clipped through the wall earlier, we're doing it again, but this time with a time constraint.
Yeah, this is again one of the biggest run killers, and it's at the very end of the run. Because it's the really hard, inconsistent trick, but then with the timer, while nervous.
It's good.
Somehow made that work.
Nice.
Nice. Alright, you can call out the incentive.
I would love to, yeah. We just opened up a brand new incentive for Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo that is coming up in just a couple runs. This incentive, if we reach it, of $100, means that our runner will hug Pipistrello's aunt and make her dance, which might be the most wholesome incentive I've ever encountered. Which means that if you donate right now, you can put your donations towards helping to raise and train a brand new service animal, reaching that Sonic Rider's future milestone, and towards that Pipistrello hug your aunt and make her dance incentive. If you put exclamation point donate in the chat, you'll see the link, and right at the bottom of the link, you can assign that incentive. I think for pure bang to buck ratio, you're gonna be hard pressed to do better than that.
Exactly. And here, we have so many coins that we can just skip that corner. Well, if you actually get the coins.
Yeah, I'm notorious for missing the coins at the end.
Yeah, far from the only time I've seen that happen to anyone. But the alternative is going all the way around and finishing the level usually with about 130 coins, because they're really easy to get. This level's incredibly easy. If even like, especially if you don't do that skip, I find it surprising when people like tell me they struggle, because the coins are there, you know?
I mean, it doesn't even save that much time. Like, probably not even worth going for.
It saves 2 seconds to take the cut, I think.
I don't think it's even that. But yeah, for the people wondering in chat, what that ITC was all about, basically you're inside the 2D section, like you long jump into the 2D section, and then you do like a blind movement to grab the star. It's really cool, but it took a while to learn.
It is really satisfying to pull off though.
Oh yeah, definitely. Getting that at the end of a run is really cool.
Yeah. Even just hitting it when you're learning it. I remember when I first did it, I popped off for about a minute.
Yeah, the star is just the same as Throwback 2, but then with the timer, which Doesn't really mean
Nothing.
anything.
There is a small difference.
Oh yeah, at the start the cycle is slightly different.
Yeah. It's such an insanely stupid difference, but there's one Womp which is on a different, which makes it different of it being on a different cycle, so you move the camera and you have to go over it instead of around it. And you'd be surprised at the amount of people that learn Throwback 2 and think, oh, I'm done. And then get there and they're like, why didn't my movement work?
Alright, now we're at the final level before Bowser. It's called Flash Black Comets, and it's basically just aiming.
Romp in the dark, or something like that.
Yeah, you have to aim the cursor at a bunch of Octumbas and shoot them, and then move Mario around at the same time. It's really technical, and it's a very difficult start, because it also
And it has
requires...
RNG involved.
Yeah, it has. You need good Starbit RNG, because if you don't have enough Starbits, you can't actually shoot the Octumbas, and you're gonna be losing a ton of time. Definitely one of the harder ones to do optimally, especially at the end of the run where you're like nervous, so you can't aim at all.
Plus, a lot of these platforms, if you get hit from you miss a shot, don't realize you've missed, so go for just walking into it. The Octuma can very easily hit you off when you're going back to the start.
Yeah. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
I just have to showcase that real quick.
Yeah, of course.
This game really tests your nerves. If you are nervous, you're not making it to Bowser on pace. You really have to control your nerves or you're not gonna make it. At higher
At the end,
levels.
they added a Yoshi, so we can just flutter across and eat every single one of them there. Eat those guys, jump across, and just a whole lot of murder.
Normally I'd backflip into the star to shoot out my star bits, but it's super risky because sometimes your jump gets eaten, so I'm not gonna do it here. Let's see if you can get a good final level.
But first, Piss, or Purple Idiot Skip.
Yeah, so normally there's like a cutscene right here. But we can actually skip that cutscene by not touching the nunchuck and just pointing at the level and clicking on it.
Yeah, you'll
There
see
you
that there's a
go, like,
little dot in between. If you move to that dot manually, then a roughly 35-40 second cutscene will play where Lubba's like, let's go get him, we'll show him who's the winner. He's the Purple Idiot, that's why we're skipping him. Purple Idiot Skip, hence the name. But we can just go past. And funnily enough, even after you kill Bowser and come back, until you've watched that cutscene is permanently on that dot. So if you're doing a longer category, it's very easy to just activate the cutscene if you're not thinking. Nice.
So that's a lava boost to skip killing those Hammer Bros. I do a more difficult version where you only get hit once. It's pretty risky because if you mess it up, you usually die.
Yeah, there's a pretty beginner version where you take 2 damage boosts, you spin backwards into the wall to get momentum, then bounce again, and then you can bounce all the way down. That's the version I do. It's pretty easy with some practice, but No Life is a psychopath and so goes for the much harder version.
You gotta let these bullet bills cancel on your cloud.
Yeah, these bullet bills are just so obnoxious. Okay, that was just showing off No Life.
Yeah, normally people don't go for that quadruple cloud type up and runs, but I wanted to show it off because it's cool.
And then it's time for our final Yoshi flutter of the run.
It's not that hard, it's just really easy to accidentally fail.
Yeah. So you want to flutter up on top of this wall. Nolife does a setup flutter to land exactly in the right place. And then you just absolutely send it. Dismount just when you get to this pole, roughly. Because that's about the time when you would lose your speed. Nice. Top shelf too.
Alright. That was a good level. Now we just gotta do the Bowser fight. And this Bowser fight is the hardest one out of all of them, because each boulder that lands generates more lasers, and his shell hitbox is way bigger.
The shell hitbox is bigger than him.
Yeah, it's pretty common to hit a meteor into Bowser and it'll just bounce off his shell, even if it doesn't look like it should. So a lot of people will kill runs to accidentally hitting a shell here.
This level's rigged against you if you're on pace.
Yeah, you have to be really confident. If you're not focused, your run's going to die. I know Jay had a lot of runs die here before he finally clutched out his current PB. Just because
Doing
nerves.
punch cancel. Just to skip the first punch. He does actually do 2 punches, so you... Never mind, I'm stupid. Was I thinking of Gravity Gauntlet?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
Alright, good first phase. Now second phase.
And then just one more hit, and Bowser is dead.
He's dead, but don't celebrate too early. You could always get Bowser Glitch.
Yeah, Bowser Glitch is a thing where when you try and grab the star, the game gets a bit confused. It's linked to the Yoshi flutter we did earlier. Sometimes it'll trigger like an extra part, but it's pretty rare, so I doubt we'll be seeing it. Go up here and grab. Oh, are you kidding?
Bowser Glitch! No!
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, Bowser just loves to eat the star right as we collect it. Now we have to do an entire extra phase. Ooh. It's too far left there.
Yeah, it's got to hit him 4 more times, or 4 times in total. And there we go.
Okay, and there we go.
Bowser is dead.
Now I just gotta collect the star.
Nice.
Yo, sub 3 for a D-Rush run? That's not that bad. It's really good, actually. There she is.
We saved Peach. And then she just kind of stands there and says, well done. And it's real. Oh, no, she says thank you. And you can keep walking next to her and she'll just keep saying thank you over and over again if you just like go in and out of her text box range.
Yeah.
You can just make it, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Alright, nice. That's time. Pretty solid run all around, I'd say. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, that was great.
GG's.
Yeah, that was G2. I hope you all enjoyed the run. Go donate to the incentives. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say.
Do either of you have anything you'd like to shout out? Anything or anyone?
I guess my Twitch, it's in the title. I don't really have anything else to shout out. I don't know if Bush wants to shout anything out.
So shout out your Twitch. That works.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna be grinding Galaxy 2 a lot more in the coming months. Because I tried running Donkey Kong Bonanza, but that game is way too intensive for my hands, so it's not for me.
They always come back.
Yeah. I think that's all for us.
Well, congrats again on a fantastic run. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to our runner, thank you to our commentator, and thank you to everyone out there watching Quest for Quet. We are here all weekend. If you've been here, if you're just now joining us, we are raising money for a dear friend of the community, Trainer Anade, who is raising and training a new service animal. We have already raised over $1,100 this weekend, just in a weekend, not even a whole weekend. It's absolutely incredible, the support and the love that's been pouring out. And who could blame you for all the amazing runs that we've seen? And folks, don't even fret for a second. We have so many more fantastic runs coming up. Right after this, of course, you may have heard me talk about it a bit. We've got the Sonic Riders Future run, which is a beta, incidentally. So this is a rare chance to see a game in development. But there are so many more amazing runs after that. We've got games like Neon White, Celeste, Cadence of Hyrule. We've got a masterpiece. The category for that is Gay Percent, which warms my gay little hearts. And of course, coming up really soon, we've got Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo. And I do want to remind everyone that we did just open an incentive for Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo of $100. If we can raise $100 towards that incentive, our runner, as Pipistrello, will hug their aunt and make her dance. Who doesn't want to see that? Who doesn't want to make their aunt happy, bring a little happiness, bring a little dance into the world? And that $100 will also be going towards so many different pieces of raising this new service animal. Things like food, training courses, training treats, dog shoes to protect their feet. All of these donations all come together for an amazing cause. So hit !donate to see the link to donate to that cause. And don't forget, before you hit submit, to assign that to an incentive to make sure you're putting that money towards that hug your aunt and make her dance incentive, which is very fun to say. And in the meantime, as we gear up for Sonic Riders, feel free to take a moment to stretch your legs, cruise around a little bit, If you don't have an ant to hug and make them dance, maybe you've got a cat, maybe you've got a dog. You could just hug yourself. It's Sunday, baby. Let's get cozy. We'll be back very soon. I hope everyone out there is still having a wonderful Sunday. If you were with us earlier and caught some of that Mario Galaxy 2 run, I know you're having a wonderful Sunday because that was incredible. And if you're just joining us now, we're so happy to have you here on Quest for Quet. And speaking of people just now joining us, I have yet another host that I am thrilled to introduce to you. It's the Valiant Sun.
Hello, Kara. You can just call me Jess.
Great, because I've never referred to you as the Valiant Sun before in my life, and it feels very strange.
Oh, sorry. Wait. I need to do that again. Oh, hey. Oh, hey, it's Kara. You can just call me.
Outrageous. Outrageous. We did not rehearse this. You know that because if we had, I would have said, let's not do that bit. I'm kidding. I love Jess. Yeah, well, that is true. But I do love Jess. And I love being here and getting the opportunity to hand off to them for the next bit of this marathon.
We've got Sonic Riders Future coming up in the future.
That's true.
Very, very soon.
The near future, you might say.
The near future. One might even say the beta future.
That's right, because Sonic Riders Beta is in beta. Sonic Riders Future is... You got me all mixed up. Sonic Riders Future is in beta, and our runner Ice72 is directly involved in working on the game, testing the game, which is always so exciting to me. Anytime we get any kind of like developer or tester commentary, anything, let alone being the runner, it is incredible.
And I'm really excited as well because the category name seems to be All Stories Tourney Legal, which implies to me there's some sort of tournament or something going on with Sonic Riders as well, which is very neat and very cool.
See, I thought you were going to say it suggests that there's an illegal tourney option and that there's some other category where Sonic just breaks the law constantly.
I think we should have people donate and especially mark their donations for the bonus races at the end of the run. I think what is that? I can do math. Less than $100.
We are a little less than
$5.
Yes.
I can do math. Away from our being able to meet that. And so as we start learning all about this run, as we go, I think it's going to be really great.
Fantastic. Jess, I don't know if you've seen any of this game, but I saw a bit of it earlier, and it's kind of jaw-dropping, honestly. I cannot wait to see this.
I am so excited to learn more, and I think I've heard that we do have some people ready to come up and actually let all of the chat know about Sonic Riders Future. So, Kara, cool. I think I have to kick you out because we're reaching microphone capacity in this chat.
Oh my gosh.
But thank you so much for hosting.
I'm relegated to the cruel fate of sitting and relaxing like all the wonderful people in chat and watching incredible speedrunning for a wonderful cause.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for hosting, though, because your last shift, fantastic. And we're going to move in to the future.